What's up, everyone? As promised, part 2 of this week's weekly roundup, since there was a lot of stuff being listened to, and I'll try to go through this pretty quickly. Start with the CDs first. Anthrax, Among the Living, released in 1987. Absolutely my favorite Anthrax album. The gold disc edition of Flotsam and Jetsam, My God, originally came out in 2001. This is a 2002 Brutal Planet re-release. (1992) first full length from Ugly Kid Joe, America's Least Wanted. Scorpions, Face the Heat. This was 91 or 92, I think. I think it says 92. Let's see what the CD says. It helps in here. Oh, neither. 93. Quite possibly my favorite Scorpions album. Then my favorite thrash album of all time from 1985, Exodus, Bonded by Blood. Catastrophic Creation from Canada's Corrosive. I meant to look up the year on this. I think this might be their most recent album. They have at least 3 that I know of. Then some Monster Voodoo Machine with Suffer System. This came out sometime in the 90s, I'm sure. These guys are a Canadian band, kind of. They are billed as a Canadian White Zombie. They are not. They are not that. They are kind of a mix of, I'd say, Ministry and Prong maybe put together. And then the second half of the Use Your Illusion albums by Guns N' Roses. I would take off the second version of Don't Cry, My World, and So Fine. Other than that, I think it's really would be pretty much a perfect album. And now to the vinyl, we'll just jump right in with Long Island's Suffocation of Dark Light. I think this was 2017, or so it appears to say, on Nuclear Blast Records. Great New York death metal. Staying with Long Island, Pyrexia with Gravitas Maximus. The only complaint I really have is that it's too short, because there's only like 8 songs on here. And this is 2021, I believe, was when this was released. So one of their more recent albums. Go to Finland for Children of Bodom's Hex, which was the final album released by Children of Bodom. Alex Leho, of course, would pass, I think, about 3 years after this. Self-titled from Icon, just really good 80s metal. I want to say this came out in 88, but I'm probably wrong. I am. It's 84. I don't know why I thought it was 88. Maybe it's the other album I have this 88. Back to the death metal stuff. Blood Red Throne with Imperial Congregation from 2020. They're from Norway, and you can kind of tell there's like a Norwegian kind of sound to their death metal. Not complete like black metal, and I wouldn't call it black and death metal, but they're just a little bit of an influence. Now this one I know was 88. This is a 2000 reissue. Motley Crue, Girls, Girls, Girls. fourth full length. This was 84, I believe. Self-titled from Wasp. Probably my second or third favorite from Blackie and the Boys. And the only album to have that specific lineup. Go to right now what is a one-off band, but hoping they put something out soon. Gamicide, Victims of Science. This was originally put out, I'm not sure, but this is a 2022 reissue. I think it came out sometime in the 80s. Then switch from that to Lamb of God, Sacrament, which is probably my second favorite from them. And from 1987, this is the 2015 reissue, Halloween, Keeper of the Seven Keys, Part 1. I have Part 2 on CD. Next up is the second album for Ramming Speed, Doomed to Destroy, Destined to Die, on Prosthetic Records. These guys, I wouldn't call them death thrash, I wouldn't call them black and thrash, but they kind of seem to mold all three in together. And then we're going to get into some British death doom, Anathema with Serenades. This was 1999, I think. And this is a 2012 reissue on Peaceville. We'll go back to some more New York death metal, Immolation with Kingdom of Conspiracy. Really good stuff there. And we're going to go to more alternative rock from the all-female band L7, Slap Happy, from 1999, looks like. This is the 2016 reissue. I have their debut as well. And from 98, Slayer, Diabolus and Musica, an album that gets a lot of flack for its sound, and a lot of people try to call this new metal, and it is absolutely not new metal. It maybe falls more into like a groove metal style than anything, but definitely not new metal. Also from 98, Garage Inc. from Metallica, an album that got me into so many bands like Blue Oyster Cult, Thin Lizzy, Discharge, Diamond Head, Misfits, Merciful Fate. Excellent stuff. It does take about 5 days to get through it all, but still really, really good. And I heard or read somewhere that they're going to be putting out a part 2 to that sometime soon. Then from 78, I think this is. Nope, 77, Blue Oyster Cult, Spectres. Fantastic album. Long Way to Heaven from Helix, 1986. Canada's Helix. From Canada we go to Germany with Ahab, Funeral Doom, their album The Giant, which is I think their third album, if I'm not mistaken. Back to the death metal again, this time with Bloodbath. I think they're a Swedish death metal super group of sorts. Resurrection Through Carnage, which I believe is their first album. And then we go back to the UK with Time Waits for Nosebleed by Napalm Death, 2009 release. This kind of blends their grindcore and death metal sounds, I think. This came in yesterday, and I'll be showing it again once I get a couple more packages in. This came from Girder Music, the Bang Your Head Festival show from Iced Earth. This show was in 2016 in Germany. This was released, depending on where you look it up, in 2022/2023. but it's a fantastic set list. I don't think they do anything. They don't do anything from the Ripper era, but they do one. Like one or two from their second album, Night of the Storm Rider. The rest of it is the Matt and Stu Block era stuff, and Stu Block is on vocals on that. And then we go to Germany for the most recent release from Accept, Humanoid. Liking this more and more every time I listen to it. It came out last year. And a recent re-recording of an older album, Cavalera's re-recording of the Sepultura album, Morbid Visions. The production's a lot better with their recording. And I keep it in the Sepultura section because it is a Sepultura album. From Brazil, we go to Denmark with Merciful Fate's second full-length, Don't Break the Oath. Classic stuff here. It has my favorite Merciful Fate song, Come to the Sabbath, on it. Then the final Dio album, Master of the Moon. This is a 23 reissue. I got it in the box set that had his last 4 studio albums. Got it on Amazon. Was not a very bad deal at all for the 4 records plus the 1 single that came with the Magica album. And last but absolutely not least, second release from Death, Leprosy from 1988. Classic death metal. I think this and the first album are pretty much like the blueprint of what would eventually become the U.S. death metal scene, and particularly in Florida. So that's everything that was spun, plus from the other video for the last 7 days. Still have today and tomorrow off, so next week's video will probably have a look. I might not have to break it up into 2. We'll see just how much ends up getting played. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. God bless.